the water levels under the bridge were too high for the boats to go under, which makes me think that the other boat must have just arrived. Salzburg, I should tell you what I did there. It's where a lot of the scenes for the Sound of Music were filmed. The one with the new sound thing.
It looks delectable.
And in Tübingen they have this tradition where they'll play this, like a live screening of it, and then they'll make this gigantic Feuerzangenball.
On the table, fast as we're able. Guests are coming at 8. When we're caught in the Christmas rush, it's so easy to lose touch with the truth.
Hi. It is now the end of the day. I've blow dried my hair, which you'll see very soon, but I want to jump on and basically explain the day because I didn't talk that much today, and normally I do like a big montage at the beginning and then I just have this big long talking section at the end. But I thought that I would mix it up because it's going to be a short video anyway, and so I thought that I would just overlay / insert the sections that I'm talking about. So hi and welcome to Vlogmas Day 19. What's the date today? It must be 19 because it's the 18th today. I hope that you had a nice day. We had a pretty crazy day, if I'm honest. We had a very crazy day. We got up at 6:30 because today was the crazy day. We had to switch ships. I mentioned in yesterday's vlog that Passau has a bridge that all of the boats go under, all the cruises and everything, and they've had, I mean everywhere had it. We had it in Tübingen as well, that freak snow that came very early this year, and so they had it in Passau as well, and then all the snow melted, and they also had a lot of rain, and so the water levels under the bridge were too high for the boats to go under, and they were hoping that it would clear by the time we got there, but it didn't. And so thankfully our cruise had, basically there's two ships that are the same. We were on the Envision and now we're on the View, and the View is coming towards Passau from Regensburg, and the Envision, which we were on, was coming from Vienna to Passau. And so we both arrived in Passau. I don't know when the other ship, so the View, got in. It kind of made it sound like they were here for a while and just weren't able to pass, but I don't know. And so instead of what the original plan was to take the boat to Arsach, which is what we did anyway, and then the people who were doing the long day trip to Salzburg would get on a bus there, take an hour and a half bus to Salzburg, and then we'd do our, I think like 8 or 9 hours there, and then come back an hour or so to Passau. So we entirely missed Passau, and then we get on the boat and the boat sails to Regensburg, and we arrive there in the morning and have our day in Regensburg. But because the boat couldn't get under the bridge in Passau, instead we got off at Arsach, we took the bus to Salzburg and then had our day in Salzburg, but we had to shorten it, and so instead of having like 8 hours, we had to shorten it by I think 3 hours so that we could still get to the boat which was parked in Regensburg. And so it was an hour and a half bus in the morning and then a 3.5 hour bus to get to Regensburg to match up with the boat. And so we did that. The people who didn't go to Salzburg, because there were two different options, you could either do Passau or Salzburg. So my parents, for example, stayed in Passau. They stayed on the boat at Arsach, and then I think it's Aschach. I'll look it up on the map and put it here because I mean we were there for 2 seconds, so I don't really remember. You stay on the boat, and then they had to clear their rooms by 10:30 because another group was going on, which makes me think that the other boat must have just arrived. Otherwise, whether people just sat there, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. And so what they did was they caught the boat then to Passau, but like just outside of Passau because they couldn't get in. They weren't allowed to dock there because there were too many boats like stuck / stranded there. They took the bus into Passau, they did their city tour, and then they got on another bus, which was maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, to Regensburg, where they met up with us on the boat. And so everyone is now here on the Avalon view. It is pretty much identical apart from the carpet being different and a few things here and there, but it's still decorated for Christmas and it's still really pretty. We haven't fully unpacked. We did like a quick unpacking of the stuff that needed to be hung, but we didn't really unpack everything because we're only here for another like 2 days. And I mean, I'll probably do the same with my stuff that needs to be hung tomorrow morning, but doesn't really matter. We're not here for long. And so Salzburg, I should tell you what I did there. So we had an hour and a half bus in the morning and we got to see the sunrise, which was really nice. It was quite pretty. But by the time we got to Salzburg, the sun was like, if this is the whole sky, normally the sun's over the top, so that when you're taking photos of stuff you're not looking directly at the sun. The sun was like here when we arrived, and so every time we tried to take a photo it was all like sun glare and everything. So a lot of the footage that I took at the beginning of our trip is just like atrocious, so I'm gonna overlay it. Do with it what you will. It's not beautiful, but it's Salzburg, so you can see what it looks like in winter time. Most of the snow had melted by that point. There were still a few snow piles where people had cleared it into one section, but yeah, it was like, I don't know, like 5 degrees, so it wasn't too cold. And we started off in the Mirabelle Gardens. I think I will put it here, the Mirabelle Garden, or like the name or whatever, because I genuinely don't remember what it was called, but it's where a lot of the scenes for The Sound of Music were filmed, such as the song Do Re Mi, I think one other, but I mean I can't remember. And so, because I mean I haven't seen the film in such a long time, which is a problem. We were wanting to watch it before we went on the trip and then we just didn't. So we're gonna rewatch it. But Luke was looking up the scenes as we were walking around and we could see screenshots that people had made of the film and the place where we were standing, so that was really cool to do that. And then we exited the Mirabelle Gardens, and as we were walking towards the Lock Bridge, again I can't remember but I'll put the name there, as we were walking towards the Lock Bridge we saw Mozart's Wohnhaus, which is different to Mozart's Geburtshaus. Basically they said that he was born in an apartment in the Altstadt, or the Old City, and then he moved when his family moved when he was 17 because it was just too small of a place for them. And so both places, his Geburtshaus, which is where he was born and lived until he was 17, has been turned into a museum, and his Wohnhaus, which they've living house where he lived, they've also turned into a museum, but it's not as intensive or in depth or whatever. It's just like another place to go. And so we walked past the Wohnhaus, and then we also saw the house for someone Doppler. Charles Doppler? I'm really bad with first names. I know last names, but first names, anyway, again, I'll put it on the screen. But he is the founder of the Doppler, I thought it was called the Doppler effect. But apparently I'm wrong, because everyone was saying the Doppler procedure.
The phenomenon was called the Doppler effect.
The one with the new sound thing.
But
I just always think of Big Bang Theory.
I don't remember if he's the guy who invented Doppler radar, and that's what he's famous for.
But she said that he was famous for the procedure, right?
Oh, the medical procedure. I think she was just saying that's what it's used for.
Yeah.
But I don't think he...
Anyway, his house was there because he was born there or lived there. I don't know.
Christian Doppler?
Christian.
He invented Doppler radar.
Yes.
I'm not sure. I'm giving it.
No worries. I'll keep talking while you do that. And then we walked down from there towards the Lock Bridge, and that's where we were meeting up afterwards, so we had to go there so we could see what it looked like / figure out where it was. Walked across there, and then we saw a few places in the Altstadt. We walked through, for example, the Gasse where Mozart's Geburtshaus is located. We saw the shop for the Mozart chocolates and the outside of the cathedral and the Christmas markets. We walked through there. We saw the outside of the oldest bakery, and the tour guide wasn't allowed to go into the cemetery, so we stood outside and learned a little bit about the fact that Mozart's sister is buried there, and Michael Haydn, who's the brother of, what's his name? Ugh, the composer. See, again, first names. I don't do first names. I know Haydn, and I know he's a musician, and I've played his music, but I don't know his name. Anyway, his brother, Michael Haydn, is buried there and stuff, so it's a big famous thing. So we went and saw that, and I'll insert any other footage that we had of stuff that we saw. We were like just doing a walking tour, so we saw the castle, for example. I think it's called Fortress as well, and so like from the bottom we could see the fortress, and there's also an art museum on a hill which gives you a nice view of the city, but we only saw that from the bottom obviously. And yeah, I mean, I'll insert stuff so you can see what we did, because I can't really remember off the top of my head. I'm really tired. Oh. Oh. Right. And then we got dropped off, so it was an hour-and-a-half tour, and it was amazing. Our tour guide was so lovely and so knowledgeable, and we got dropped off at the bakery / cemetery area. And then Luke and I walked back towards the Christmas market, and we got some food and lunch. The Haunsberger mit Sauerkraut. What's the statue? Statue, where? Ah. Have you tried it yet?
I have not. It looks delectable.
Delectable. It's got curry sauce. No, curry powder with mustard, sauerkraut,
It's like
and like a burger patty type thing.
A Wurst und Brot and a currywurst.
Yummy. Very good. The first reaction. That's good. That's very good. Okay, so we found Apfel Lebkuchen Kaiserschmarrn. No, Apfel Lebkuchen Schmarrn. Oof. Yum yum. Oh, we tried. Sorry, I was trying to. I was trying to remember what it was called. The Feuerzangenbowl. Again, I'll put it on the screen. I've never had it before. I've just seen it everywhere.
Not just Feuerball.
No. There's a Feuer. Daumenkohl. Okay, I'm gonna look this up.
Sugar rub.
Feuerzangenbowl.
What's Saga?
Zangen. That's a great question. Fire tongs punch is what it directly translates to. I know about it because in Tübingen, supposedly there is this tradition that in December, the problem is we've never been there for this, so I've never experienced it, but supposedly in December, there's a film that was made in the 1940s, I think, 1950s, and it's called the Feuerzangenbowl, and in Tübingen they have this tradition where they'll play this, like a live screening of it, and then they'll make this gigantic Feuerzangenbowl, and they set the rum-soaked sugarloaf on fire, which is what it's supposed to do anyway, and there's mulled wine underneath. And as you're watching the movie, this gigantic sugarloaf just slowly disintegrates into the mulled wine. And I really want to experience that, but we haven't been in Tübingen for it. So hopefully next year we can go to that and watch the movie and, yeah, take part in that Christmas tradition. But we never had it before, and they had it on sale at these Christmas markets. So we tried that for the first time, and it was really nice. And we had a sandwich for lunch. Again, I will insert that because I don't remember the name of it. And then actually what we started with dessert because we kind of ate as we saw things, and there was a Apfel Lebkuchen Schmarrn, which is kind of like Kaiserschmarrn, but instead of just like vanilla flavored, which is normal, it was mixed in. So basically it was cinnamon flavored, but then they mixed in apple slices and gingerbread, and so that was divine. It was actually my favorite Kaiserschmarrn, sorry, my favorite Schmarrn that I'd ever had before. And then we went to the cathedral and took a few videos of the cathedral. And then we walked back, and then we had that 3.5 hour bus ride that I told you about. And then Luke slept for most of the bus ride, I slept for half of it, and then I crossed it because I wasn't really sleepy. And then it was just a normal day. We came back, we had dinner, and then edited, and that's about it. So yeah, thanks for coming along this day. It was a really nice day. The weather was lovely, and Salzburg was lovely, and we're now in Regensburg, which is the city of my dreams. And I love this place, and I'm so happy to be here, and I can't wait to explore it tomorrow because, yeah, I did my exchange here. I was here 10 years ago, and now my mum's here, and like my parents are here, and they get to see this town that has so many memories for me. So yeah, anyway, I am gonna go to bed. Luke is, you can hear him getting into bed. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!
Well, I'm all for Christmas, all the happy smiles and the wishes, and I want